Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Inters Tier 2 Racing. Scotty here with you again for the finale in Tier 2. Both championships are wrapped up, but we still have an overall constructors to work out, and it could be sealed tonight. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race around the Yas Marina circuit. And with the new layout, action's been pretty good. I think we had a pretty good race last night, so looking forward to tonight's action. Don't have the champion in here in Matty, so someone else could pick up a victory tonight. Scotty with you. Thankfully, not alone, joined by the one and only Mr. VSC Batman. Batman, how are you on this fine Saturday afternoon?
Oh, pretty good, mate. Can't complain, you know. Should be another good spicy race. Always an entertaining track, Abu Dhabi. Couple of spots to look out for, especially the excuse me, sector 3. A couple of those slow corners can catch you out, especially that double left-hander. So yeah, like you said, all the chips are wrapped up. Just the overall between Aston and Red Bull. So let's see if that can get locked in tonight, or if it goes till tomorrow, which would make the final round in Tier 1 of the season and Inters pretty entertaining, but I'm sure one of them would like to get it done tonight, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. We've got the green line, in the black in the background. So we'll obviously jump into there. We've only got 17. We did actually have a full grid, so either a couple of people will join in quali, or we're going to be a little bit less numbers than what we thought. But that's all right. We'll get to that in a moment. Looking at our calendar, so obviously the shortened 14 round calendar, obviously with the new game. Pretty much less than a week away for the guys that will be getting early access towards it. Batman, were you one of the ones that pre-ordered it?
Yep, I will be. I've already got Wednesday off, so midnight Tuesday I will be on it as I do every year. So if anyone wants some early stuff, I'll be streaming at midnight. So feel free to jump in and say good day. Because I'm in NZ, I get it 2 hours before everyone else. So ha
Yeah,
ha ha.
I remember you saying yesterday to me that you actually had quite a couple of thousand people actually watching you when you first streamed it on the
Yeah,
night
six
of
and a half
release.
thousand views when I did the stream for the 23 game. So that's pretty cool.
No,
A once a year thing. Usually I get a couple of people watching me race. So
yeah. No, it should be a fascinating start of the game. And as I said, obviously people have had comments on it, and obviously the rest of us will get our hands on it next week. So yeah, should be interesting to see. But we'll get through this last week here in Inters for season 6, I believe. Yes, it is, as I can see on the screen. So yeah, it should be a good last couple of races. Looking back at our endurance race last week, Dark and Shadows, great race from him, and obviously just beating Liquid Jake to the line. Obviously, the 3-second penalty, we thought Jake had it covered easily, but unfortunately just lost time in the last couple of laps, and Dark and Shadows picks up the full 48 points for Red Bull. Letter P scoring a great podium as well. A couple of time penalty removals, eBay boy moving up to P4. Brian with that 5-second time penalty for that sort of little collision that we saw with Jeneth at turn 3. But nothing really changing on there, and obviously both driver and constructors for Tier 2 is sealed up, as we will switch over to that. Matty AU in P1 cannot be beaten, not participating tonight. We have got Medi in, so it'd be Medi and Dark and Shadows. The battle for P2 should be an interesting fight to the end. Medi had absolutely no luck last week in Austria, so hopefully can round out the season well and send off this new game. Looking to the overall, as I said, Red Bull's been absolutely dominant, especially with Dark and Shadows joining quite a bit about midway through the season, just prior to that, but absolutely been on fire. 6 wins for Red Bull. Alpine Buster, obviously, fair well in the game. He's going to take a bit of a break, so wishing him well in his last race. And we'll see if Alpine can actually stay ahead of Aston Martin to claim P2 in the Constructors now. Overall,
shout out to Buster, legend that man.
yeah, obviously can't wait to. Obviously sad to see him go, but can't wait when he does come back and obviously be out on track with him once again. Team standings, as you can see, it was 61 points at the start of the week. That little table that you can see bottom right hand side of your screen, they're the provisional results after Tier 3. So it's 81 points. Now there is 25 points, there is 89 points left remaining in no, 90. I'm trying to get my numbers right. There's 90 points remaining, so 24, 20 plus 1, so 45. So there's 90 points remaining, and you can see Aston 81 points behind. So pretty much it needs to be an Aston 1, 2, and both Red Bulls pretty much DNFing. So that's sort of what we're looking at here. So we'll keep...
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to pull off. I mean, like you said, Dark and Shadows has been an absolute beast since he's joined everyone on track. So, yeah, he's always a hard man to beat. Obviously, Bang's pretty consistent, but, you know, Medi, Sam. So, yeah, I mean, it could happen.
Yeah, we'll actually make mention of that lineup now. Semi in for Jake, who unfortunately we spoke to him last week in the comms box after his podium that he was missing tonight. He's already on holiday, so obviously Sam will be in the Aston Martin, and we've got Bang replacing Maddie in the Red Bull. But you figure if Dark and Shadow needs 9 points to pretty much seal it up, but then again, it's Aston that has to score. So Red Bull just pretty much has to score top 15, and they should be right to go.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of late outs. Quiet Cake was in, but he's out, so replaced by A-Dog. We've got 18 now. We'll look at the track detail. Yeah, so we'll look at the track details. We're a little bit behind, but realised I hadn't actually started streaming because I didn't press the button. So we'll look at our track details. It'll be 29 laps around this 5.281 kilometre circuit. Fastest lap, 126.103 from Max Verstappen in 2021, which a lot of fans either is greatly remembered or greatly forgotten. So, but obviously... C3, C4, C5, the softest of the Pirelli compounds. A bit of tyre stress. A lot of the stats that you can see bottom right are your mid-range sort of thing. Obviously, braking quite hard, especially down at turn number 6 as well. Hard braking zone. We've seen plenty of collisions. I saw a few incidents last night there at the middle chicane there, so we'll have to watch out for that. But traction definitely important. So a fresh set of tyres, if there is a late-ish safety car, could play vital for any chances of a victory tonight.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that braking zone can catch you out, especially if you're doing an overtake. You got DRS battery on, and it's pretty easy to misjudge your braking point there and go a bit wide into that chicane. Does catch a few people out, but I'm sure these tier 2 boys are pretty onto that stuff. We've also got Jerabot in the Ferrari reserving for the mighty Jennifer Lee, the king of comms. Jerabot won tier 4 last night, so he's going to step up and have a go in tier 2, and I'm sure he will definitely be in the mix as well. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to JTE Carly. Happy birthday, mate. Got some nice new racing gloves today, so let's see if they do the job for him.
Very nice. Obviously, happy birthday, and hopefully he goes well. Obviously, Williams driver late into the season, so as I said, sort of a little bit of bias for myself there. So we'll get everything turned on. As I said, we're a little bit later into the session than normal. We still got 10.5 minutes left to go. You can see the letter P has set the initial fast flying lap on a 22.510. You'd imagine a fair few of these guys will be just potentially saving a set of soft compound tyres.
Darken's starting a lap now.
And he's definitely one that we want to watch as we come around turn number 1. We'll get the halo on. We'll have a bit of a wander around turn number 3 now. And this man absolutely on form. Looking, I think, for his 5th or 6th win tonight. So should be well around the hairpin of turn 5. DRS zone now activated. So 2 DRS zones. Interesting to see who has added a little bit of downforce or who's taken downforce off in terms of setup wise. as we hit 329 down into the braking zone. You got the left hand, then the right out of the chicane. Very important to get the traction out of this corner as we come into the second DRS zone, and the newly this corner's been turn 9, reformed for the last few years now, but great side-by-side action we've seen in the races as he takes that nicely. Turn 10 and 11 now, hard braking into turn 12 and under the hotel, the slowest portion of the circuit, but thankfully a lot easier or a lot nicer to go through than what it was in the past. As we come around 15 and then the final corner of turn 16, nice exit out, doesn't run too wide and goes pole position provisionally on a 22.324, couple of tenths quicker than the letter P. Centre Racing it, putting a lap time in of a 22.660 as well.
Still a lap. Do you think we could see a 21? 21?
Would not surprise me, if I'm perfectly honest, with the way that some of these guys have got pace. Brian up there in P4. Buster, as we said, obviously last race for a while for him, so we'll obviously keep an eye on Buster and looking to try and seal up P2 for Alpine. So it'd be good to see Buster get on the podium as he just moves out of the way. And is that the Battle Cat? Most certainly is, as we can see on the battery for their second hot lap. As we come into the hotel underneath, obviously, the Latifi corner that it's infamously known as the final couple of corners, right-handers. Got to be careful about the pit lane entry as well. You got that little glitch that it likes to give you a 3-second time penalty as he goes into the top 7 of 22.976.
And this is the track with the bloody pothole in the pit lane. It is, yeah. There's a couple of potholes on this track where you kind of disappear into the ground if you're on a certain line. Quite a few esports guys talking about it, so hopefully that's not an issue, or not an issue in the next game. So I see we've only got, so we're missing one AlphaTauri and one Mercedes? Yes.
Yeah, it was Mercedes. So as we see, Nato goes into the top 6. He looked quick last week in Austria. Unfortunately, got involved in an incident, I think, so had to do an extra stop to change a front wing, but was running quite high. So watch for them to be quite quick and be near the top of this pack. As we've got Bus coming around the final couple of corners.
Bike's going a bit cutty in and out there.
We'll try and get that sorted.
Technical difficulties.
That's usually.
It goes with a 22.4 and puts him up to P3. So Buster's on it today, as always. Got Senna sitting in 4th. Who else have we got in a lap? NATO's just going in the box. For the corner, just coming up to the line. It's going to be 22.8 up to P8.
Good lap times from centre and Buster and Voida. Obviously, Alpine 3rd and 8th. Aston down in 12th and 13th. You'd figure you'd get more out of them at the moment, so if they want any chance of this overall, they need to get in there. Medi had a poor qualifying last week, and that's what screwed his race entirely. He got damaged on lap 1, and then could just not recover, even without an incident later on with involving Senna. He was only ever going to get just inside the top 10, so Medi needs to pull out a lap time in quali.
100%. Just got Marty B, the famous Marty B, about to start his Marty B hot lap. Currently sitting down in 16th with a 23.6, but he will 100% make his way up the list there. Comes around into 2-1. Got to judge your line right to carry a lot of pace through here without going wide on exit. You don't want to take too much of that curb flat all the way through here if you get the correct line. Take a lot of curb on the exit. Coming down to brake on about the 50 into third. Take a nice wide exit onto the curb, straight up through the gears. DRS open. Down the first long straight. Coming up to the chicane, you want to brake just on the 100. Down to third gear or second, whatever tickles your fancy. Stays in third on exit up to fourth. Stay as close as you can to the left to gain as much of that time as possible. Pulls out, keep far left to gain a lot of time there. Goes purple in the middle. This corner here is my favourite corner on the track. I just love the feeling of it. You just throw it in there and the force it puts on your wheel. It's quite a bit of a buzz. In through the hotel section. Easy on the throttle through here. It's very easy to lose it or go wide. Through the right hander into the final turn. Skip the camera, wheel over the line, and it's a 22.9. So what have we got? The top 12 all in the 22s, so
Yeah,
times are looking pretty close.
yeah,
As always, I mean, I think last night it was a pretty close grid in quali, so
yeah. And I was going to
love
say,
to see that.
yeah, and I was just going to say, you can see as I try and get Prattman in. What do I want that one? So yeah, it was a good lap from Letapie to actually move himself up just, I think, less than a tenth off. So he's done less than a hundredth off, sorry. There we go. As Bratman, if you can hear, you should have that invite into the lobby now. So 2.5 minutes left to go in the session. So Dark and Shadows is out on track for their final outlap. Pratman will come in. 2 minutes left to go. Should load into lobby and be able to at least get a setup, even if they can't. They'll have to start at the back, unfortunately. But
JT getting a beautiful toe off his teammate down the back straight there.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. As we'll bring up the speedo on the right hand side, DRS. So what speed are we looking at for Kelly coming into turn number 9? About just below 320 kilometres an hour. There you go.
Nice rotation through there.
Yeah, held fifth gear through turn 9. As we come into this lowest portion of the circuit, remaining in 4th gear for the majority of the corners, up to 5th now. And we'll have 2 corners left to navigate. Turn 15. Brakes, goes in, stays in 4th, run to the line, and goes into the top 6. So now, Senna will have the complete opposite, and we'll go and get the toe with Callie down this straight. So we're actually working quite nicely together, actually.
Great teamwork there. I see Medi's in the box, so he's not coming back out. Currently sitting in P5.
Yeah, but at least got a lap time on the board and can fight from P5. But we know how turn 1 can sort of be around this particular track. I want to go back up to Dark and Shadows just quickly. Actually, no, Dark and Shadows is further back than what I thought, as we see the Williams Senna gets the lovely toe. And needs a strong exit out of the chicane, is certainly that. DRS. We have a look at our fastest sectors. NATO quickest in sector 1, Letapie in sector 2, Callie in sector 3. So actually our provisional pole man actually hasn't got a faster sector. So this is how close this qualifying will be, our last quali of the season for Tier 2. As we see Senna not sharing, I don't believe, but we'll have a look at what the final time is. Yellow apparently in sector 1 and sector 2. I don't think that's quite true. Senna coming across the line. Stays in P7 just behind their teammate. As we've got Dark and Shadows coming around the final corner. Can Dark and Shadows improve? They can. by a tenth of a second. It's now up to the letter P.
Just
As
look at eBay boy getting absolutely mega toe off the Ferrari. He's just gone purple in sector 2.
oh, and letter P went purple in the final sector, but it wasn't enough to get the position. I think Buster's not on a flying lap, so we'll go down to Brian Bromley. So we had a couple of spins. We had an Alpine spinning. I think that was the other, not Buster, the other Voider that might have been around the final corner. Brian quickest in the in the middle sector. He just lost a little bit of time, and just under a tenth, it moves up onto the second row. We've got Ben coming across the line. That is them done in P16. A-Dog comes across the line and stays in P18. Prattman was in the session and I believe was able to pick their car, hopefully pick their setup. But Dark and Shadows.
Joined with a couple of minutes in, so yeah, Dark and Shadows keeping up his good form. So Red Bull looking good so far, but their teammate on the opposite end of the field, so hopefully he can make his way up, just be consistent, get some points on the board. With Aston Martin sitting in what, P6 and P13. Dark and Shadows on pole, followed by Leader P, Brian Bromley in the Mercedes, Buster, NATO, Midi, Battlecat, Jerobot stepping up from Tier 3 and P8, so solid job from him. JT, Carly, Senna, 40 corner, eBay boy Sam, Marty P, Granny, Bang, Swiss Lord, A-Dog, and Prattman didn't quite get in quick enough to settle lap, so see what he can do from the back of the field as we get ready to load in to our final Tier 2 race for Inters on F123.
And thank you for doing that while I was able to fix up my little database. But yeah, it should be a good one. 29 laps. Dark and Shadows leading again from the front. It'll be very interesting to see how they go with the guys behind that will want to try and pinch up the last victory of the season. Jerobot back to back. It could be interesting. Not sure where Jerobot actually finished. Where did he
finished P8.
That's actually not bad. That's not a bad lap time.
That's bloody stellar, man.
Only he was 4/10 off a pole. That's how close it was. So it was great to see. And as quickly bring that up. So we'll see if anybody is actually sharing all their data. Might not be able to use the leaderboard. Hopefully we can. But just adjusting fuel, adjusting tyre strategies. We have
right,
now
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are away. Everyone gets off the line nice and clean. Dark and Shadow gets a beautiful start, pulls into the lead straight away. Ryan Bromley keeps P3, gets a nice good start. P1 and P2 have already pulled a nice gap away. Buster's jump Brian and up into P3. Everyone looking nice and clean so far.
Yeah, except Carnage in the back. Carnage in the back. So
that's Bang and Marty B
Jerobot.
So
yeah, we jinxed him. We thought
did.
P8 was going to go well. Oh, as the McLaren nearly runs into the back. Marty B.
He's got no wing.
Yeah, so a few drivers getting front wing. Under a virtual safety car, we'll have a bit of a scroll. Prattman not sharing. Jerobot's not only got front wing damage, but also side pod damage, as you can see right hand side of your screen. That's hopefully it's not too bad. That's really unfortunate. We're back to green flag racing. Marty B's got front wing damage, and Bang not sharing, but looks like he's got their front wing as we go for the race lead.
Leader side by side. Leader P gets the inside line and takes the lead away from Dark and Shadows. I'm sure that won't be the last change we see between these two boys. Let's see if Buster can get himself up in the mix as well. Brian not far behind him. So let's just have a quick look at position changes off the start. So got JT up 3, Midi down 1, Granny up 5, Battlecat down 7. That's probably the biggest movers and shakers. And who the fastest lap, let's just look at one. So tyre wise, mostly medium runners. Got Brian, Midi, Battle Cat, Bang, and Sam on the hards. Marty B has boxed for softs. eBay boys, Swiss Lord on the softs, but only a couple of soft runners there. We've got Sam, Marty B, and Jerba all in the box to get some repairs done.
Yeah, so obviously something happened. Turn 1 looked clean. It was obviously turn 2. Either someone's lost it or we've tried to go side by side with a couple of drivers, and I'd imagine it'd be where Jerabot was, considering that he was the one that was sort of probably up the highest looking at the names, and obviously having a big issue. So really unfortunate for those guys, because they would have been interesting to see. Sam obviously as well, worst case scenario for Aston Martin to be involved in an instant lap 1. Midi has actually dropped a couple of spots. Yeah, he's dropped one spot, unfortunately, has the Aston Martin driver, so at least he's cleanly through lap 1.
Hard, so he's, those boys are going to have slightly better tyre at this stage, but you just got to stay in that DRS train, and those hards will come into him later on. And
yeah, as you can see, DRS.
Work out for him.
Yeah, as you can see, DRS activated at the top of your screen. Fastest lap, Voida, then eBay. So obviously the VSC throwing a little bit of chaos in terms of who's got fastest lap. As you can finally see, the DRS now enabled. So 27 laps left for Tier 2 this season. It's the letter P by about 7.5 tenths. Actually got a nice run through the hairpin, but I think Dark and Shadows just took a bit of a wider line and get the better exit out of turn 5. As we come down the DRS straight for the first time with it activated. And Dark and Shadows, as I said, they can play a patient game. They're not going to really rush this, especially a long way to go. All top 3 on the medium tyres. It's Brian that needs to try and hang in there. As we did have a movement further back. I think that might have been Granny or Voida up a spot.
You can probably confirm, but I'm hearing Marty B has rear wing damage.
We'll have a look at that very shortly, as Purple in the middle sector. Keep an eye
on the move.
Yeah, soft tyres.
Taking advantage of those soft tyres. He's already flashing within the 3rd lap, so he's dumped that battery and trying to make some moves quick.
Yeah. Can't see what Senna's running, because Senna's not sharing, unfortunately, but you can just see the battery for eBay Boy, and that makes it really hard to try and get a move. Senna has a bit of a swapper out of the final corner. So riding on board with the McLaren driver, as Senna does have DRS, unfortunately, from the car in front. It's Medi that could be a little bit vulnerable to the guys behind, as Medi, no, he couldn't quite get back in. Just. I want to switch back to the front, because Dark... Got to switch.
Much battery there, so.
As Dark and Shadows, I think, wants to go for the race lead once again. Oh, that got very close. Maybe a little bit more movement than what I thought, but I thought the Alfa Romeo.
The inside line, then he changed the line there, but now Buster's going to get a beautiful run on the back of Little P. Job done. I don't think so. Little P's going to have the DRS, and they will go single file. And that's Britain. Now NATO's coming into this fight, and JT not far away from getting in the mix with this front pack as well, and then Medi about 1.7 behind that group to the next pack.
Yeah, got a couple of trains going actually, and yes, thank you, Wayne. Obviously could always see the DRS, and yes, we can sort of see it. So Wayne, I completely forgot about it. But no, Senna's doing a good job, and obviously eBay's tried to be aggressive off the start. Moved up 3 positions, so it's just a matter of trying to have some time. Yellow flag, that is Marty B.
So I'm guessing that rear damage is...
Oh yes, it most certainly is. Not completely red, but it's the orangey colour, and that would really hurt Marty B's chances.
No track's great for rear wing, but this track you really need that rear wing.
Yep.
So, let's see if he decides to
Yeah, really
Call it a
unfortunate.
day, or try and, oh, and he's
Oh,
come around again.
and he's retired. There's going to be a safety car, maybe?
He's
No.
crashed.
He's crashed. We say green.
He's
And
well off track though.
through, and car's gone, so we remain green. So Grenny got past by
Sinner's got past
Voida.
Midi as well.
Yes, I think Grenny got past Voida, but Voida got back past at turn 9. Senna, that's an important move from Senna. Because I think Medi was a little bit of the cork in the bottle. Brian's holding well in P4 on the hard tyres with the mediums around him, but Medi just lost the back of that DRS train and he's just sort of struggled. So Medi just needs to hold on to the back of Senna. Let Senna's medium pace just carry him up to the front group and maybe just not fight him too much. Just follow through. As I said, long race left to go. As we can see, Nato wanting.
Nato thinks about it.
He wanted to have a go. So.
Straight DRS, right in the slipstream. I don't think it's going to be close enough though. There's a lot of game to play around this track as well because of the double DRS on the double straight. Like last night I found I was turning DRS off halfway down the straight so I could get DRS and make the move on the second straight. Otherwise you pass them on the first and you get taken back on the next.